Hey guys, what's up? Dingo Crikey here with another figure review. This time we're going to be looking at Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Warrior Class Sideswipe. This figure was originally released in May of 2015 as one of two figures in the Warrior Wave 3, and it could be purchased at time of release for the price of $14.99. I would like to preface this video by saying this is the only Robots in Disguise 2015 figure that I own at this point in time. So, in regards to size comparisons or critical comparisons, I can't really compare it to the other figures. With that in mind, we can see we have Sideswipe in his car mode here along with his accessory, but we'll move his accessory aside for right now and just take a look at the car mode. Give you guys a good look at it up close. There you see the front, the side, the other side, the back, the top, and then we have the bottom. As far as the color scheme for this guy, he does have tidbits of blue on the headlights here, some pink on this text back here, but primarily his colors are red and black. Now, something I would like to mention is the painted bits of red, as we can see here, or on the doors of the car, are a slightly different shade than the actual molded red plastic. And when you have the figure in person, it is a little bit more striking than it may come off in pictures or on camera. As far as the design and the overall aesthetic, it has not only a sleek look, but obviously a cartoony look, as, you know, it's got to fit in with the rest of the figures and, you know, the look of the show. As far as details, we do have this text on the back. I believe this is Japanese or Chinese characters. I wouldn't know exactly. There you have some detailing on the front. We also do have this sticker symbol here. This is, of course, a scan symbol. You can, I guess, use your phone or your device, scan this, and it'll give you some special code. It's something like that. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any details inside the car, such as seats or a steering wheel, and even from the top you can, you know, see through, you know, we have these holes on the bottom. The clear plastic will allow you to see that. As far as any other details, I guess I'll give you a look at this back. We do have a lot of details back here, but none of them are painted, unfortunately, on this version of the figure. In regards to accessories, we do have this sword, which he also uses in the show, so it was nice for them to include it. And I don't believe there's any way that you can store this weapon in vehicle mode, such as hiding it in the car somewhere. I've kind of tried, I've looked for it, I've watched other reviews, and no one's really been able to figure anything out. You can take the guard of the sword right here and plug it into this little rectangular hole up top. And it holds in place very nicely, doesn't really have a function in this mode. As far as any additional features in this mode, already mentioned the scan symbol. His wheels technically do roll, but he can't roll very well, and what it is here is this piece that will become the chest in robot mode only folds in that far, so I think it extends a little bit below the wheels. You can't really get a good roll out of that, which is kind of disappointing. Here we have him compared with other Sideswipe figures from left to right: Alternator Sideswipe, Dark of the Moon Sideswipe, and Fall of Cybertron Sideswipe. Here he is with two Combiner Wars figures, Voyager Class Battlecore Optimus Prime and Deluxe Class Dead End. With comparisons aside, let's take a look at the transformation. And the first thing you're going to want to do here is grip these windows underneath and, you know, just loosen them up, so now we are free to work with the legs. You want to pull the legs apart, and they have one major step, and basically what you want to do is take these pieces that become the feet, and once they're loosened up like this, you want to just bring them downward like that. And obviously, same thing for the other one. There we go. And now we pretty much have the legs done. Focus on the body. Want to take these pieces up here, and they kind of go over the bumper, so you want to like pull up and away, just like so. So they're moved away from the bumper. You take the bumper, move it back. Next, what you're going to want to do is take these pieces here, and we want to rotate them inward, and you're going to have to kind of adjust the body, you know, while you're doing that so other parts don't get in the way, but Just rotate them inward like so. Same thing for the other one. And you want to make sure they're not sticking out too far like that. You want them to be positioned kind of like that. And let's straighten up his head here. And finally, what you want to do, and I'll show it from the side, is take this body piece and move it upward. But specifically, you want to make sure these openings go over these little pegs right here. So let's take the body piece and we'll see if we can get that. There we go. Now you're probably noticing that right away it's coming out of place, and that is a reoccurring problem with this figure, and I don't believe that's just my copy, but we'll get into that later. For right now, there we have Sideswipe in his robot mode. And let's bring the figure in for a closer look. Give you guys a quick body scroll. You can get a good close-up look at him. There, stopping at the head sculpt, so you can see what it looks like. He has that smirk, which is a characteristic of his personality in the show. Also has a Johnny Bravo hair on top. Give you a look at the front, the side, other side, the back, the bottom, and the top. As far as the color scheme, it's pretty similar. We still have red and black as the main colors. We have some pink here still, and obviously on the sides of the legs, but we have a lot more blue now. Like, I guess just these details here and the blue eyes. And we have the addition of silver on his face, of course. As far as detailing, I think it's pretty self-evident. We kind of have this futuristic look in his body, Japanese characters right on his chest. Some things to point out about this guy in regards to appearance. Major thing for me is these big car doors on the sides of his arms. Look pretty clunky, and there's really no way you can fold them, so we will also see that can interfere with articulation a little bit. He's got a little bit of hollowness back here at the back of the legs. Can be a little bit gappy here in between the lower leg and the feet. Also, some people might have liked if they did something with these large pieces here, just to maybe kind of fold them in or crunch them up in some way. Other than that, though, I feel like he looks pretty show accurate. He definitely does capture the character pretty well, especially in regards to the face, but also the body looks pretty spot on. Having the wheels for shoulders, it's mainly in the legs and the lower arms where you do have some problems. Let's get into articulation. So we'll move the arms up so they don't really interfere. Here you can see in the legs we have a simple back and forth motion. Also can go out pretty far. Right above the knee we do have a swivel that will go all the way around, and then the knee can bend about that far back. And none of these are on ball joints. Actually, most of this guy's articulation isn't on ball joints. It's just at the elbows here and at the head. As far as the arms go, the arms can come up like that and go down, and you can see a lot of stuff's getting in the way of movement, and this piece is coming out of place a lot. That isn't just what happens when you're behind a camera trying to mess with a figure. That is an actual problem with the figure. Not only do we have interference from some of these pieces, but this attachment here is incredibly loose and doesn't stay in place all too well. We can see it's a little bit better with the other arm, but it's already coming out of place. In regards to other articulation, we do have the ball joint at the elbow. It can go all the way around, and can go forward, can't really go backward. No articulation in the body like waist articulation. We just have the head, which is on a ball joint, can go all the way around. And we do kind of have a little bit of a bobble motion here. That's the only part of the head that's loose. Other than that, it's held in there pretty nicely. Now, despite some of those problems in articulation, also the joints, at least on my copy of this guy, are pretty tight. Haven't really seen people having a problem with that, though I could imagine these ball joints or the ball joint in the head could be pretty loose on some. As far as any additional features or accessories, we don't have many in this mode. We do have the scan symbol in the back there, and of course we have his sword. And what you can do with it here is just take this handle and plug it into his hand, and he does hold it pretty well. It's pretty tight, not too tight, and it's long enough that it actually has an imposing appearance, and looks like he could actually use it. and just give you guys a look at the length of it. It's pretty nice. Another feature we have with the sword here, and I don't believe this is an official feature, but some people have found it out, is basically where you can store it. And what you do is you take the blade of the sword, and you see that piece there, and we're just going to shove it into that hole. And there, it does look like the storage he has in the show, so even though it wasn't in the instructions, I'm guessing it was an intended feature. Either way, it does look pretty cool. And one more thing, I figure I'll give you guys a good look at the sword. It's just all black plastic, even the handle, blade, not too many molding details in there either. Like I said, it does look pretty cool once it's in his hand, despite being not all that interesting in itself. Here we have him with Dark of the Moon Sideswipe on the left and Fall of Cybertron Sideswipe on the right. Here he is with two Combiner Wars figures, Warrior Class Battle Core Optimus Prime and Deluxe Class Sunstreaker. And from left to right, here we have him with Armada Supercon or Deluxe Class Wheeljack, Classics Voyager Optimus Prime, and Fall of Cybertron Voyager Class Grimlock. So final thoughts, as for my personal opinions, I kind of have mixed ones about this guy. I definitely think he's a really cool looking figure in both modes, especially the vehicle mode. Looks really nice. The robot mode does have some clunky parts, but it is pretty nice looking overall. It does a nice job of capturing the character, especially in the face and the body. And I think even if you didn't have the show, the figure just has personality in itself. However, the playability and the functionality of the figure really don't work out all that well. I was really excited about getting this figure. Some of the drawbacks were honestly pretty disappointing. Altogether, young or old, if you're into robots in disguise, you want to get most of the characters, this is probably going to be the best version of Sideswipe you will get outside of maybe the Takara version. That's a whole other debate there. And being that Sideswipe is my favorite character in the series, despite him being kind of a disappointment, I'm still happy I did get the figure to represent that character. However, for general collectors, casual buyers, people might not watch the cartoon but might be interested in the figures, I wouldn't recommend this guy because he does have way too many problems. And if you're into regular Transformers, you might just not like his cartoony aesthetic. Altogether though, I think there are better figures you can get for the price of $14.99. And of course, if you're into the really high classy stuff like alternators and Masterpiece and the third party stuff, definitely don't spend your money on this figure because I would think you would be disappointed. Anyways though, those are of course my personal recommendations. Hopefully through watching this review, you were able to determine whether you want to get the figure for yourself. Maybe you think the pros heavily outweigh the cons for this guy. I hope this review was helpful to you guys in any case. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this review. If you want to see more like it, you can check out my channel. You can also keep up with the channel for once a week regular figure reviews. You can also keep up with the channel for regular Transformers commentary on the films, the cartoons, and of course the toys. You can also follow me on Twitter for more regular updates. That is all I have to say for now. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned and have a good one.